Welcome back to another episode of Not Yet Mature. It's good to be back in studio. Great, so today we're going to talk about business resilience. And at the end of the day, the one question people do ask is, how do I measure my business resilience? How to measure that? One question is, it's not about productivity, right? It's not about pushing against competitors. It's none of that. The question you need to ask yourself is the following. And that question is, what if a billionaire comes along? What if a billionaire comes along and opens up a shop right next door to yours, selling exactly what you are selling, but they can offer more? They can either offer bigger discounts, greater stock. They can just, plummet you. How safe are you in the event of a billionaire comes along? Let me pause for a moment and just give you the sidetrack story of a friend. So one of my friends came to me and he said, Dion, listen, I've got a lot of money, right? So what do I invest in? And I said, well, first of all, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't give financial advice, but if it was me, if I had plenty of money, what would I invest in? And I said, it's very simple. I'd walk around in my local community, a town, and an economy that I know, and I will scout around. And as I scout, I literally will just look around for businesses that has been there for 15, 20 years, not really new businesses, but businesses that established a proof of concept in the market, if that makes sense, right? So during that time, I said, okay, well, I'll open up a shop right next to them selling exactly what they sell. And he's like, what do you mean? Where's the innovation? Where's everything like that? And I said, well, very simple. You can go to any rating site, right? And you would notice one thing. If a person wants a product, they will buy it. So the doors that are open means that customers go there. The problem that you find is people, unfortunately, forget, or companies rather, unfortunately forget to serve their clients. They forget the servitude. They're all about selling. They're all about delivering the product, but they forget how to serve the client, how to build that relationship. So I said, if you have money, do exactly what they are doing next door and focus and change on one thing and one thing only. Not the product, not the services, just serving your clients. You can ask the same price. As a matter of fact, you can even ask more. But in the event of they pushing against you, you've got money. You can just undercut that. You see, the difference is when it's about serving the client, your business becomes resilient. So my question is, or not my question, my answer is, if you want to invest in a business, copy and paste. Copy and paste a business that's, already existing. But change one thing. Serve, don't sell. Focus on serving the client. The retention rate are currently focused on how do we get customers so that they have to come back, right? When people sit around in a boardroom, when people sit around in team meetings, in innovation meetings, in marketing strategies, what's the number one thing that they focus on is how can we get customers in our doors, or how can we get customers to come back? The one thing that they do miss is, don't ask that. Ask why the client should come back in the first place. Because when you change your approach to why, all of a sudden it's not about your product anymore. It's not about what, the product that you deliver. It's about the customer experience, why they want to come back in the first place. And that changes everything in your company, right? See yourself as a consumer. When you walk into any shop, any business at all, what takes you back there? It's the service you received. It's the feeling that you received when you entered that space. It's not about the price. The price was a great deal, one time deal. It's not what keeps you going back. You see, a couple of wrong ideas when it comes to business resilience is people say the following. It says, as long as I hustle, I'm safe. Meaning I should just push and time will tell if my business was resilient or not. The other thing that people do is resilience is keeping in front of my competitors. So if I want to be resilient, all I need to do is I just need to be more advanced than what my competitors are busy doing. But this has got a couple of problems. Number one is your focus is on them and not on you, and you're starting to compete in the finite games. And the purpose of being resilient is about exiting the finite space into the infinite games. The biggest reason why people don't really work on resilience is, well, first of all, they got a sense of pride. Like, I've built this company to this point. I don't need it to be more resilient because I know what I'm doing. So, sense of pride is the first thing. And then the other one is marketing is their resilience plan. But that takes us back to the previous problem. If marketing is your resilience plan, you are just focusing on standing out in front of your competitors. You are just in a finite space. The other thing you need to consider is, can your business compete against the same products at lower retail? So there's a lot of people that brings out energy drinks and hydration drinks. And, if you bring out hydration drinks in South Africa, you're most probably competing against someone like Coca-Cola, right? That's one of the things that you're competing against. If you bring out an energy drink anywhere in the world, the one thing that you're competing against is Red Bull. Now ask yourself this: in your local community, in your country, in the market that you're trying to sell, can Coca-Cola afford to just take a loss? Not even, make no profit, take a loss on their product just in the sake of killing you? Of course they can, because they've got multiple other products, multiple other regions, multiple other countries, multiple income streams, and they've got a recognized brand. So your pricing is not definitely what makes you resilient or unique. And what if a competitor offers better branding and prices? Can you still compete? The billionaire methodology has always been hypothetical, right? It's always been like a what if situation, but it's no secret America is heading for a massive recession. So I listened to a podcast series the other day and checked out the content. Alux.com talks about billionaires and what they invest in and how the markets are trending and how the money moves. That's the best terminology to use in that. So Alux said the following. They interviewed a billionaire, first of all, a couple of them, and the billionaires listened to this. So when they talked about recession, the billionaires, I'm not going to mention names, I'm not going to give anyone promotion on that, but let's just claim them as billionaires. They basically said, listen, recession is a middle income word. It's not something that exists in their vocab for the specific reason that is just an economical fluctuation that grants them bigger opportunities, right? So when they started investigating in that opportunities to look, what do people invest in? They did the following. They said, well, first of all, there's the usual like commodities, buying stock when people are dumping them because they can afford to hold them when they recover. And surely like the S&P 500 and NASDAQ will recover. They can definitely take those risks and just have a longer hold. And when the price recovers, they make a ton of money on that. That's one thing. The other thing that they said, and this is very interesting, is billionaires said overall, and this goes to the billionaire methodology, is they actually do not tend to innovate. So they do not tend to put their money in a company that is something of brand new, that is reluctant on a good market because the markets are bad. But this, and this is where the key point comes in, this does not stop them from investing in businesses. So what do? Very simple. They buy and invest in something like they call a boring business. Now, boring business simply refers to an existing, usual thing. And very often, if you think about it, it refers to your business. So the billionaire methodology that was always just a methodology and an example and an extreme is as real in any market as possible. We see Americans through venture capital funds just flourish and just pour money into the African continent, including South Africa. So at the end of the day, you really need to ask yourself, your business, is it really resilient? So on that topic, we have decided to actually have a massive keynote on business resilience, on just giving a keynote with actual helpful tips on how to scale your business out of the finite mindset into and exited the finite mindset into the infinite games, making your business resilient and not just adapting with the current trends, current markets, and current competition, if you want to put it like that. So please, I urge you, if you have a business, join us on the 26th of April in Nelspruit. Tickets are on Quicket. There's virtual events as well. And we would love to see you there and assist your business to withstand the greatest competition of all time. And that's the copy and paste business model. That's it from our side. All of the best. Here we go.